Hey guys, welcome to another WoW Weekly with Myst. Hope everyone is doing good and had a great weekend and all that. This week's events is Dark Moon will be all week. We also have the PvP Brawl, Cooking Impossible. The weekly will be the Arena Skirmishes. And the Torghast is going to be Chorus of Dead Souls. And for those that are unfamiliar with that event. So with the Chorus of Dead, you get a buff. It's called the Howling Soul Core. And it allows you to assume the form of a Dead Soul Chorus. It replaces all your abilities with mob-based abilities. When you're in this form, you have 50% increased damage and healing. And you'll also have 20% increased movement speed. And your party members can merge with your form by right-clicking your name. Some of the abilities is, well, there's Wailing Blast, which is a single target nuke and interrupt on cooldown. Scream of Pain is an AoE ability. Phase Shift gives you a 90% damage reduction for 1.5 seconds. Twisting Shadows is a 30-yard teleport. And Return to Existence returns you back to your normal form. And those are the weekly events for this week. As for goals and accomplishments, my main goal was really just to do some attempts on the Infinite Time Reaver, since it was, and I guess still is for one more day, Timewalking. And I did that. I did quite a few attempts on that. And I also had a goal to level the mage because I was pretty sure we'd be able to get her to 60 while doing that. And that proved to be true. She is a level 60 mage now. I did put her over in the Curian Covenant. And yeah, so that is cool. I also did some other stuff. So right here is some screenshots of my hunter. I got, this is not a new hunter. I leveled this hunter to max level probably a month ago or something like that. In a past video, I mentioned that I moved one of my hunters from my main server to another server because I didn't want two hunters on the same server. So this hunter's over on Storm Rage. And so I did some more work on my renown. I went and did more story. I'm not done with the story yet. I have one more chapter and then the campaign is done. Yeah, so in the meantime, while doing that, I gained another mount. And I think I got a pet as well. And yeah, so that was cool. Did a little work on the hunter. I also did the time walking quest on the hunter, and I ended up getting her a 226 bow. So that was really nice. Her previous one was like a 177. So it was a pretty big upgrade. And yeah, and then I have one more character, and that's the one you're looking at right now. So I was bored one night, didn't really feel like doing any more time walking. And so I decided it would be super cute to make a gnome death knight. So this is my gnome death knight. She's going to be very much casual. I've got no serious plans for this character. I just thought it would be cool to have a gnome death knight. I don't typically choose gnomes, but I've really enjoyed this one so far. But then it's the beginning zone. Everything seems like a one-shot kill in a beginning zone, right? So we'll see. But so far, I'm really enjoying this gnome death knight. I love how the sword's like so huge on her. So yeah, that is basically what I did in WoW this past week. And yeah, I guess let's get to news. So there is a lot of news. So I am going to do my best to cover it in the shortest time frame possible. But there's a lot. And, you know, I'm obviously going to give you details on those news parts so you understand what's going on. Right now on the servers, you may see a difference in your max anima. It used to be 35k. Now it's 200k. So you can earn a lot of anima. They have talked about you being able to transfer that anima down the road. I'm going to talk more on that, but I just want to add that into this because if you're a person that doesn't know what to do with your anima, then do nothing. Because what you can do is you can just keep banking it on your main character, and eventually you're going to be able to move it over to an alt that would need it. And yeah, so just bank it for now. So, on the topic of the anima transfer and all that, they more or less just did confirm that they are intending on having a way to transfer that. The number one thing I would do for you to prepare so that you can for sure transfer it is to make sure you have fully upgraded your covenant. That is going to be a requirement for it. So it'll be for characters who have fully upgraded their covenant sanctum. You just need the one character that has their covenant upgraded fully, and then you can start transferring it, very similar to how we are able to transfer the Soul Ash. Blizzard is also adding a redeemed soul catch-up in 9.1.5. What they want to do is they'd like to make it so that all players have the weekly return lost souls that issues you 20. Right now, how it is when you're on an alt that's just starting out, you do have the 5 and then you have the 15 and yeah. So they do want to make it so that it is sitting at the 20. And once it is, you get a lot of souls really fast, yeah. Now, what I would like to see is I would like to see an option there. For me to gain the anima that you can get off that quest, you have to have like over 100. It has to be to the point where they don't give you the souls anymore, right? Until you start spending them. And I would like to see an option where you choose, do you want to get, your anima reward or your soul reward? Same quest, and then you just choose the reward that you want. I would love to see it look like that. That way I can do it for anima, because I currently have, everything done on that particular character that I'm referring to for souls. So yeah. Now also there's been some new Covenant toys that will be coming in 9.1.5 that dropped from the calling boxes. This one here is the new Kyrian toy. It's Stewart's First Feather. And it causes your Stewart summon to turn into a baby Stewart, and it'll last for your entire duration of the summon spell. The Necrolord toy will be the Apprentice Slimemancer boots. Basically just a pair of boots that leaves slime behind as you walk. It lasts for 5 minutes. The Night Fae toy will be called Sparkle Wings. Just adds a little cute, pretty look behind you for wings. And this one lasts for 5 minutes as well. And the Venthyr toy is called Tomb of Small Sins. And it kills a targeted critter and then it turns it into a soul. So yeah, when the patch goes live, those are the new toys you can get from the calling boxes. Some changes to the Domination Gear. All the Domination Gear will activate a gem set bonus now. There does seem to be one stipulation here. Shortly after they mentioned this, they put out another post saying that this doesn't apply to the legs. And they will continue to not have a domination socket, but you will still be able to activate their set bonuses. They've also done a UI upgrade for the new patch. And this is kind of what it looks like. Honestly, I don't really care what the upgrade UI looks like, but cool nonetheless. So a nice, more crisp look to your UI in your item upgrade section. Whether they're going to continue and do like a full-blown UI, we don't know. This is pretty much all they've shown us so far. And on things kind of similar to that, they've also done an improved chat reporting feedback. I've got tons to say on this one, but I'm going to put it in short mode here. And I'm just going to say their customer service has sucked for a lot of years to the point where I don't even fucking report shit to them anymore. You know, I could see a whole line of bots in front of me and I won't report it because their customer service sucks so much ass that I can't be bothered. You know, like times I have needed help to, you know, where, you know, it's been a while, but, you know, a prime example would be this past weekend. My characters were getting locked into the guild. It was only for a day, so I just took a day off WoW pretty much. But did I look for them to help me? Hell fucking no. I've pretty much figured out how to help myself with that situation. And the reason is because for years, their customer service has sucked. And it wasn't always like that. In the beginning of WoW, I would say maybe up to, I don't know, maybe Kata, their customer service was really good. If you had a problem, you typed in your problem and you had a GM messaging you right now, you know, right away. But now you gotta go through so many steps and they want to send you all these different websites to, you know, get the website to help you instead of them that, you know, I'm sure I'm not alone in the fact that, you know, you just get so fucking frustrated that you just fucking stop and you know, go do something else, you know? So, you know, I'm glad they're improving chat reporting, but, you know, it would be nice if this goes a step further and they actually put their customer service back in order because their customer service blows now. And because of it, I have literally seen a lot of bad shit happen in the game, and I fucking ignore it because I don't want to go through their steps of having to report it. And then at the end, it's saying your ticket has not been put through, and then I'm angry, you know? So yeah, just gonna say, you know, I could give two shits about your improved chat reporting. Improve your customer service, Blizz. But on the topic, they're gonna add some confirmations for players who report misbehavior in chat. And when you report a player for verbal harassment or something similar, you'll be notified when your action is taken against the player. When we notice that your behavior has moderately changed for the worse, we'll send you a warning message so that you can modify your behavior. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna go real well. And in cases where they actually observe the inappropriate behavior, the system may just take action immediately. So, once again, this is great. This realistically is the start of something they should be improving even more. Okay, so next up, let's talk a little more on the Timewalking for Legion. I did mention it in last week's video, and since then we've gotten a little more info, more specifically regarding the Mythic Plus stuff. So there's a lot of cool stuff that comes out of this Legion, and I did say in the last video that this one will prove to be interesting because it'll be the first Timewalking of an expansion when mythics were implemented for dungeons. So basically how this will go is, once again, when comes around for the first time, it'll be a 2-week event, and then it'll go back to being weekly like we know it. Well, it'll go back to it running for just the week like we know the Timewalkings to run right now. So the dungeons that will be involved is Blackrock Hold, Eye of Ashara, Darkheart Thicket, Vault of the Wardens, Natharian's Lair, and Court of Stars. Now, I know a lot of people dislike Court of Stars, but I loved Court of Stars. It was honestly one of my first M pluses I did too. And while it proved to be a little difficult at higher keys, it definitely was a lot of fun. And I have said numerous times that Legion was the best for Mythic Plus. When Legion ended, they destroyed Mythic Plus in my eyes. Like, it hasn't been the same since. I haven't felt like I've been having fun in Mythic Plus. I just do it because I need to do it. But in Legion, I actually did it for fun. You know, I had a blast doing Mythic Plus in Legion. So I'm really glad that they're bringing the Mythic Plus aspect back for that Timewalking. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting, guys. So while the Legion Timewalking is active, you can speak to Catchup in Oribos to get a time-worn keystone. And that allows access to a max level Mythic Plus difficulty for the 6 Legion dungeons that I just listed. The dungeons itself will reward loot of the gear we're using right now. So they will reward loot of Shadowlands Mythic Plus dungeons. And they will count towards your weekly vault as well. So, yeah, on these weeks, if you don't want to do a Shadowlands dungeon, you could just do the Timewalking one for Legion and just do it that way. And like I said, you know, assuming they don't change too much with it, I think it'll still probably feel different because we'll be in Shadowlands, you know, Covenant spells and stuff like that, right? But it was the best. You know, when they brought it out in Legion, I had a blast. I had a blast when Mythic Plus was part of that expansion. And also, of course, with a new Timewalking comes a new mount to purchase. I just brought my Time Warp badges back to 5,000 on the Druid with this past Timewalking, so I have enough to buy this mount. Highly suggest that you start focusing the Timewalkings if you want to have this mount right away. My main has been caught up for a long time. Only reason I even had to catch her up is because I've been skipping Timewalking a lot on my main. I do it mainly on the alts, but I would want to purchase this guy on the main, especially since she doesn't buy anything else. I've collected everything over the years, and I was caught up when they brought the WAD ones out, and I got those instantly because she had a bunch of currency at that time too. 5,000 doesn't take that long to accumulate, so just pick whatever character has the highest and just do your Timewalkings on that. You actually don't even have to do the weekly quest. If you're looking to grind Time Warp badges really easily, do the first dungeon, collect your quest, hand it in, boom, done. You do get extra off raid ones, but I wouldn't call that easy badges. You're in there for a while. This here is going to be the mount. This is the Valshara Hippogriff. And like I said, it's going to cost 5,000 Time Warped badges. It seems like people were hoping for 2, maybe because WAD got 2. WAD was an exception, and there's not going to be 2. It's just going to be the 1. It usually is the 1. Like I said, WAD was the exception to that rule. And I think it's just because there was more of an alliance versus horde type mount there, whereas the rest are neutral type mounts. It's okay. I was kind of hoping they'd get real creative with the Legion, mainly because the Legion had the best mounts out of any expansion. Like, I know BFA had a lot, but when we talk about the best mounts, we're talking lots of them and pretty, right? BFA just had lots of them. But Legion had lots of them, and they were all creative. They were beautiful. And not to say this guy isn't beautiful, but I was kind of hoping for, maybe a unique model. This is not a unique model whatsoever. But, whatever. It's a new mount. It'll add one to the collection. Okay, next up, let's talk more on the Druid travel forms. So last week I mentioned that we were getting some. I also mentioned that I was pretty sure they were going to be forms that existed, and that proved to be more accurate than I even thought. So here are the forms. You can see they pretty much, other than one, a lot of them have to do with flight. I was very disappointed when I saw these. I know there's druids out there, they're like, yay, yay. But I am seriously disappointed that this is what we're getting. This shit exists as mounts, Like, I don't want something that exists in the game. I want something unique for my druid. So, yeah, not impressed, Blizzard. I am not at all impressed in this. I think if you're going to bring some new forms in, you should have created some new forms. Yeah. Anyway, these are all through inscription. What that basically means is inscriptions getting some new patterns. So there will be the Mark of the Duskwing Raven, the Mark of the Gloomstalker Dreadbat, Mark of the Twilight Runestag, Mark of the Regal Dreadbat, Mark of the Sable Arden Moth, Mark of the Shimmering Arden Moth, and the Mark of the Midnight Runestag. So, as an inscriptionist, I'm gonna want those. And because my druid is actually the inscriptionist, I'll apply it to my druid, but am I going to use those? Hell fucking no. Like, if I want to use those kind of forms, I'll hop on my mount. They're making a lot of great changes to bring people back, but I think this one was a horrible one. But I guess on a good note is you're not forced to use it. It's more or less a glyph, right? It's no different than changing the way your cat looks in the barber shop, So you're not really forced to use it. It's not the one and only form for that. So that's a yay. Yay for this not being one of the first forms for a druid. So, yeah. I'm sure we'll see tons of druids running around with them. I'm sure there's tons of druids that like it, but me, as someone who's played a druid for 17 years, I would have loved to see something unique, like an entirely different animal. The only one I truly like out of all these pictures was the Raven, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that that's a tribute to the druid. Raven... if you're like myself and have played Druid for a long time, you probably remember that you had to go kill the Raven Lord to even get flight in BC. And so I've always really admired the Ravens. I liked them back then. I still like them now. I just, we already have a Raven, so it's not unique. But if there was anyone in that list of pictures that I showed you that I like, it is definitely the Raven ones. Honestly, what I thought we were gonna get, and it's something that would not have affected me in any way, but I think a lot of people would love to see it, and I thought it would be a great idea, is I honestly thought that all the different races that can be druids would get their specific look, right? Like, a night elf druid can be distinguished from like a worgen druid and a tauren, and I will admit I was secretly hoping for something to do with the moonkin form. I will fully admit that. But honestly, I really thought that they were gonna do something with all the different races that are druids. That's why I initially said that I didn't think there would be a new form, but it would be based off of forms that already exist. Yeah, that's what was going through my mind when I said that last week, was that it would be different tints that you get from your different races. Okay, so sticking on the topic of shapes and stuff. So let's move over to Crittershapes. So we have seen some of the new Crittershapes that will be in 9.1.5. I showed some in the last video. So here's a list of all of them. There's a total of 21 at the moment that's been found. I'm not going to read through the list. You can read on screen. There's a lot there. And basically, how this will work is, in order to get your critter shape and all that, is you will choose your regular soul shape at Lady Mun, and you can choose your critter shape at Chufa. So when you press soul shape, you will use your critter shape if you're in a rest area, and if you're not, you'll use your chosen soul shape. So if you leave the rested area, and you're currently in critter shape, when you do, you'll automatically transform back into your soul shape. Next up, we have some new Hunter Tames. So we got some Corpse Fly that can be tamed now. The Grommets can also be tamed. And the Aquilon can be tamed. There's been a new data mine shop bundle, and it is a new moon-themed transmog set, and it also includes a Sprite Darter pet, which, spoiler alert, but one of the videos I've been working on this past week to publish on the channel, and I usually don't tell you guys before I actually publish a video, but it is an older version of a darter pet. It's the Sun Darter. And yeah, so if you don't have that one, keep an eye on the channel. I'm gonna have a video up on that this week. It's not a new pet. It's nothing to do with this, but this does have to do with a Sprite Darter pet, and I'm gonna have a video up on the Sun Darter, so it kind of belongs in here. So the Sprite Darter pet will be the second one that will be in the picture as far as those types of pets go. Now, I do imagine there's probably some commotion about this Sprite Darter pet because it was a BC pet, if I remember right. And yeah, so this isn't the first time the Sprite Darter pet would enter the picture. Yeah, I don't believe you can get that pet anymore. So it's kind of like when they added the TCG toys to the shop. It's another way to get that pet. And as an additional note that I don't have a picture to go with right now, you know what? Actually, I will find the picture. But you guys might remember our Wandering Ancient mount came from a promotion where people voted on their favorite mount and it won, so we got it. And so there has been some data found that may involve the Soaring Spell Tomb mount that very much looks like a mage mount, but it's unused because it didn't win. Wandering Ancient won. I remember back then I said whichever one wins will be the free one, and I bet you anything the ones that don't will end up in the store to purchase. And I'm not saying that that's the case with Soaring Spell Tomb mount, but it is still kind of sitting in the data like we will eventually be able to use it. So maybe it's... No one knows anything yet, but it's still sitting there, and it's a possibility. And I'm banking on the fact that I was right in the beginning, and all those 3 others may end up in the store at some point. I actually voted on this one because I wanted to fly around on a book. So yeah, as a druid, I did not vote on that tree one. Mainly because I can see a tree form on my druid. Also, another cool mount announcement this past week has to do with the Surge mount. This is one that is gonna be a while away, and depending on when they announce 9.1.5 is going live, we may be able to get it before. It depends if that ends up being after October. But I am going to for sure remind you guys of this mount when the time comes, because this is a very, very early announcement here. So there's a new mount. It's the Surge mount, and it's another promotion mount. It's been a while since we've had one. It's basically where you go play another one of Blizzard's games, and after doing whatever's needed in that game, you get issued a free mount in WoW. They've done it with Hearthstone before. They did it with Heroes of the Storm. And these are nice, unique mounts to go after. So if you like having those unique, braggable mounts, this is going to be one you're going to want to do. So basically, Hearthstone has a new expansion coming out. It's going to have a brand new Mercenaries game mode for it. So you'll just complete the Mercenaries tutorial in Hearthstone and then start your first bounty to automatically unlock Surge on the WoW account. So very easy. It won't take you very long to do this, and this isn't till October. This will be, the new Mercenaries game mode arrives on October 12th. So it's gonna be a bit, but don't worry, I will remind you guys again so that you don't forget to go do that. Also, I have noticed that players that purchase a 6-month sub between now and October 19th get multiple rewards in Hearthstone as well. I am not a big Hearthstone person, but it's a mount, so obviously I can still do it. I've played Hearthstone here and there, but does it hook me? Not really. I'm very, very picky with card games, and Hearthstone, I always thought it would hook me. I was a huge fan of Magic when I was younger, and I always thought it would hook me, but it just never did. And so can I sit through playing it? Yeah, of course. I've played it a couple of times. Once was on stream, but I prefer fighting. I prefer games where you're out there with a weapon fighting stuff. So yeah. But like I said, I'll remind you when it comes closer. I do think the mount is super cute, though. He kind of reminds me of Squeakers in a way. It definitely looks like he's a ground mount only. Does not look like this guy's going to get up in the air. I don't see wings on him or anything. But who knows? And also, it's a short list of hotfixes, but as usual, here is the list of hotfixes for the week. One of the bigger ones I would say out of that list would be in the items and rewards where it says fixed an issue that would prevent players who switch covenants from being able to upgrade their Korthia gear to tier 5. Okay, so we also have a bunch of transmog stuff. So let's go through it. This is the new Void Elf customization. So we got some ears, tentacles, and some hair colors. Next up, we have some new Lightforged Draenei customizations. So starting with some earrings. Hair colors, hair decorations, hairstyles, facial hair, some horns, horn decorations, jaw decorations, and jewelry. There's a new necklace, also some new tails. Feel free to pause if I'm going too fast here. Okay, next up we have some Nightborn customizations. So hair color, hair decorations, hairstyles, jaw jewelry, face jewelry, some jewelry colors, and some more necklaces, body tattoos, face tattoos, eyebrows, eyes, eyebrows, eyes, face jewelry for the males, and face tattoos. There's some crazy face tattoos there. Hair colors, hairstyles, and a headdress, and some jaw jewelry, jewelry colors, mustache. Okay, so here we have some new Legion Transmog items. So this one here is the Nightborn Arc Shield. And this is the Suramar's Guard Shield. The Warp Caster's Staff. The Nightborn Arc Saber. Arc Smasher. Artisan Reach Longbow. This is the Blackrook Elite Items set. And the Replica Aegis of Agrimar. Okay, so next up we have some recolored Tier 20 Tomb of Sargeras sets. This one here is the recolored Mage set. It's called Tempest Regalia. And this one here is the recolored Paladin set, and it's called Lightbringer Regalia. Okay, and the last transmog little piece of info I've got for you has to do with some boots. And these ones I actually like, and I've always found it super tough to transmog boots, so I welcome these very much so. Yeah, I think they look better than pretty much every other boots. Now, I'd just like to say that it's actually unclear that this is actually for the characters. So let's just hope these are transmogs. Yeah, it has been mentioned that is unclear if these are actually obtainable by players. So hopefully they just are. So this is bone. I'm not sure really. Okay, bone, dragon scale, fur, lava. Those lava ones look pretty cool. Leather, plated, Sabaton, and that's where it ends. And that is the transmog stuff. So let me know what you guys thought of the transmogs, because there's quite a bit there. All of it's eventually going to be obtainable in the new patch, except we are unsure of this last one, the shoe models. Also, your starter armor sets will get a revamp in 9.1.5. So the current sets are going to be replaced with like a higher res armor set. This one here is the Druid set. This is the Hunter set. This is the Mage set. Paladin. Priest. Rogue. Shaman. Warlock. And the Warrior. So as you can see, for base classes. Also, you'll be able to upgrade the Heirloom in 9.1.5, so they are going to scale to level 60 in the next patch. So in last week's news video, I mentioned that there was a blue post noting that there was going to be authenticators needed to form groups in the LFG. So now there's been a little more of an update. So straight from the source here, Blizzard. Accounts now require an attached BattleNet authenticator to post custom text when listing a group for dungeons, raids, or rated PvP. All players may still search for and join other groups, and the developers note, a group finder that's full of advertisements bothers us as much as it does you. But a challenge we've faced in trying to eliminate those ads is that they are often posted by compromised accounts or other throwaway accounts, such that penalties incurred by in-game reporting have not proven to be an effective way of doing things. And regardless, relying on reports still means that some number of players have their experience disrupted by the spam before it gets reported. The BattleNet Authenticator is available for mobile devices and is a simple and convenient way to secure your WoW account. But if you prefer not to use it for whatever reason, you will still be able to post groups that will have descriptions auto-populated. Based on raid name and difficulty selected in UI, drop-downs are derived from Mythic Keystone currently in your bag. Our goal is to clean up the group finder while trying to minimize the inconvenience to ordinary players. I have my doubts that this is going to work, but I hope it does. I'm glad they are doing something about it. I will say, just from past experience, I do pug out some of my Mythic Plus keys, and it is tough to find a group sometimes because the whole list will be want to sell. I honestly feel like part of the reason I can't find groups is because none of us make groups with all these want to sells. We know we're getting hidden by them. And so I welcome that change. I hope it works. For any of you guys that don't have an authenticator, highly suggested. I've had one since they brought it out, which was years ago. Mine's on my mobile now. I have it on my phone. But back in the day when they first released authenticators, I bought the actual authenticator. I have them like hanging around my walls in my room because I don't want to get rid of them, but I don't use them anymore. Like I use my phone. But yeah, even then it was convenient. You just click the authenticator and give you a different number, and yeah. So highly suggest an authenticator. I've been playing this game for 17 years and nothing has ever happened to my account. So it is good. It definitely helps you, and it's safe and all that. So highly suggest, if you're not using one, to get one. It's free. Even those authenticators I have on the wall, Blizzard just gave them to me. Yeah. I think I might have bought the first one, but then they just started mailing me off a bunch of authenticators. I remember one day I got like 4 in the mail from them. So, of course that was back in the day when Blizzard was, good customer service. So who knows? I actually remember when I needed another one, because I think there was an expiry on them or something. There was a reason I needed another one. And I called in to get it. So that's how long ago it was. It was when you could actually call Blizzard. And that's when they sent me a bunch. There was a letter attached saying, "Here, this should do you till the rest of your WoW days." And it did. A lot of them didn't even get used. And then I discovered that you could have it on the cell phone. So I do that now. Okay, so the next piece of news. Now, this one really disturbed me because one of my favorite achievements was in it. This past week, we found out that some of the achievements have changed names. I imagine a lot has to do with the harassment, and, harassment is bad. But these were names to be funny, and they were funny, I'm not condoning their behavior, but must we completely change everything about the game? At this point, you might as well just shut down the servers and start new if you're gonna do this much change. But anyway, moving on. So here's some screenshots of what's being changed. I'm not gonna read over all of it, but I am gonna read the part that disappointed me, and that is sitting in the Winter Veil section. So, Holiday Bromance, that is what it's called now. It used to be called Bros Before Ho Ho Ho's, and I fucking loved that. I loved that achievement, and it's still called that. If you look in your achievement, it will still be there. I believe, this is going to go into effect in 9.1.5. but it's so unfortunate. You know, that was such a great achievement, and it was a so fitting name for it. And I'm a girl saying that, you know? And personally, one of the biggest reasons I love that line isn't really for the words that it is, but it's for what it resembles. Ho 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 can be a girl or a guy. And what it resembles is that you never betray your close friends for a girl or a guy. And that's how I always looked at it. I always looked at it as never betray your friends. There are people that are offended really easily, and I guess for those people, maybe a line like that does offend them. Doesn't make it less cool, though. I still love that achievement. This is honestly one of the biggest reasons I'm antisocial. There's multiple, but this is like one of the major reasons, and it's because so many people get way too offended, and it's just annoying to socialize with them. As for the one underneath, the collection one that says, my sack storage is gigantic, I didn't really notice before that it said my sack storage. You know, I probably just read past that. I really hope they're almost done with all these stupid changes due to their harassment, because obviously that's the reason. You know, if they hadn't had this lawsuit, this shit would have never been changed. And while some of it deserved to be, a lot of it has been kind of stupid changes. And you know, I say I would never quit WoW, but I might if you turn my game into a Hello Kitty game, you know? Like, yeah, when I play Animal Crossing, it's just to chill out for a bit. It's not the main game. You know? like I don't need my main game to be a fucking, you know, 5-year-old to 12-year-old age group here, you know? Like, and since you see rock and roll in there, I guess we should make that the next piece of news. I was so hyped for this one because I used to play that game back in the day, and I actually still occasionally play it. For those that don't know, this was one of the first games they created, and they were actually called something else back then. They were called Silicone and Synapse. And yeah, so this is old. This is back in like the 90s, 93 to be exact. They had some pretty memorable games back then. There was also Lost Vikings and Blackthorn, and I loved all three of those games. So that ages me a bit, but yeah, those are all from the 90s, and I'm pretty sure most of my viewers were probably born in the 90s. So they have data mined a toy. It's called Rock'n'Rollin' Racing Customizer. This toy is rumored to come from Wintervale. I was pretty sure it was coming from there anyway, because it's legit a racer toy. All the racer toys pretty much come from Wintervale. And how you get it is unconfirmed, but I would, you know, pretty much bet on the fact that it's gonna be an achievement that ignites on Christmas Day. When you, well, you know, you might be with family or whatever, but it'll be the achievement that ignites when you open up all your gifts. There's always one special gift per year that's specifically for that year. If you don't get it, a lot of the time you can get it later on, but it'll be a really low drop chance. And yeah, you want to make sure you get it that year. I think that's how we get this one. I think it's the special yearly toy. Next up, a small change, but something that is actually already being applied to the live servers, and that is some weather changes. So as you know, there is already weather effects in the game. You know, I know that very much so, since I was farming a pet for multiple years where it had to be snowing to get that pet. So there's weather all over the place, but where you usually don't see it is the cities. It's like it'll be snowing in one area and, you know, maybe raining in another. I see rain out in Pandaland a lot, and then I see snow a lot in Northrend. And yeah, so what they're going to do is you're going to see that stuff in the city. So there's been some rain and thunderstorms spotted in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. This reminds me of something very off topic, but I'm just gonna say I really love my black market toy. I'll post it at the end of this video, but it's a weather machine, and it does that too. You just pop it up. It lasts for quite a while, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere like around there. And it does like thunderstorms and rain and all that. It's a very cool toy. Okay, so there is also a sale going on for one more week here. It will end on the 12th of September. And it involves a bunch of different games. So Shadowlands is in there, of course. So is Call of Duty, Overwatch, StarCraft 2, Crash Bandicoot, and the Celebration Collection as well. And the last piece of news I have is just a quick one for Classic. They have re-enabled the Same Faction Battlegrounds, and they are going to be leaving it in place for the rest of Burning Crusade Classic. They also said that they're also re-enabling the settings that restrict pre-made battleground groups to a maximum of 5 players. So they're expecting it to be a temporary measure, but they're gonna see how it goes, and we'll hear more on that if things change. And that is basically the news. So yeah, like I told you, a lot of stuff happened this past week. I do have one last topic to discuss. It involves streams and what's going on with that this week. For those that are unaware, there's going to be the open beta for New World. So some of you guys may have experienced it in, earlier if you paid into it. I'm still unsure about New World, and so I'd like to use the open beta to see if I like it. But yeah, this one I'd like to give it a go, so hopefully there's some people that want to come try the game with me. Open beta will begin on the 9th, which is, I imagine, a Friday. Oh no, it's actually a Thursday. So yeah, it'll start on the 9th at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So I will be streaming on Thursday then. And it's going to continue all the way to the 12th, which is that Sunday. And it'll end at 11:59 p.m. Sundays are my editing day, so I probably won't stream it on Sunday. It's probably just gonna be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But yeah, so I just thought I'd let you guys know that that is the plan for the channel this weekend. And that concludes this week's WoW Weekly. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite thing that was discussed in this week's WoW Weekly was. What are you looking forward to? And that's all I have for you guys. So have a great week in WoW. Have fun. Don't forget to hit up Dark Moon. And we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.